So that means that it's time for us to start. Good morning, everybody. You
Good
have
morning.
found Unity of Joplin in Joplin, Missouri. Hopefully that is who you were looking for. And if it wasn't, we hope you'll love us and come back. So my name is Neely Myers. I am your platform person this morning, so I'll be assisting with this morning's service. And we're going to do things a little differently. Instead of checking in on social media, if you do not currently like our social media, you can find it pretty much across the spectrum at Unity of Joplin. And you can share today's service in the form of, oh my goodness, watch party, couldn't think of the term. Or you can comment as we're going through the service today, things that were of particular import to you or revelatory or whatever. Or just if you have questions, it would be very appropriate to post those if you are watching on Facebook. So with that being said, we have a video to kick us off this morning. So we are ready for our video. So today is the last day of February, during which we get to celebrate Black history. And as you might have seen from the video, Unity worldwide is full of amazing Black leaders from history. You might have seen on the bottom of the screen, unity.org/Black history. If you want more information about any of those folks, you may find it there. So let's introduce our celebration team for the morning. Our music and production team is Gary and Jerry, John and Michael helping with the technical stuff. So we appreciate them. And I have to tell you that frequently I spend the week floating on their beautiful music. So I am so thankful to have their talent within our congregation. And then my very handsome husband is trustee of the day today. So if you have questions, comments, anything that you might want to know or discuss, he will be monitoring the Facebook chat. So you will see him there. And then I introduced myself already, but I'll reintroduce myself. I am the platform assistant today, and I am so thrilled to be with you all on this overcast but much warmer Sunday morning. Gordon is going to do our meditation and our lesson today, Reverend Gordon Kyler. And as always, I look forward to that. I've got my notebook here at the ready to take notes and write down thoughts as we go. So we will do an official offering later. We'll dedicate our offering, but we want to give you loads of time and loads of opportunities to do that. So you may text give to the number on your screen to share your gifts. You may send a good old-fashioned check to the P.O. box on the screen, or you may hit donate up in the top right-hand corner of the Unity of Joplin website, and any of those ways will get your gifts to us. Additionally, we have jumped into the today full tilt, and we have embraced stars, which are a new thing to Facebook. And those of you that know. But we're still learning a little bit because I'm not a digital native. Many of us aren't, just by nature of the decade in which we were born. But if you would like to donate, if you're watching on Facebook stars, then you may do that as well. We do have a few announcements before we get started with our lesson. Tomorrow is the first day of the month, and that means that there will be a Silent Unity as Zoom at 12:15. So digitally, if you would like to join that, you are welcome to do that from wherever you might be at 12:15 tomorrow. And then hopefully you saw in the weekly email or on our Facebook page, but we would like to make it a little bit easier for our unhoused neighbors who might be looking through for aluminum to recycle so that they can have some cash. And so if you don't recycle at your home, we do, and I'm going to start leaving our aluminum out separate just in case. I don't think we have a lot of people that come through our neighborhood. In fact, I might just start bringing it down to the church, because I do know there are people who are looking for that aluminum to take to the recycling center at Unity of Joplin. So there is a separate canister back behind the building at which you can leave your aluminum recycling for those folks, and we are happy to support their support of themselves. The Earth Care team continues to collect vegan and vegetarian recipes. I myself submitted a mushroom bourguignon, which is one of my new favorite dishes. Last week we had the poblano and corn casserole, slow cooker casserole, which was amazing. And tomorrow we are having the chili rellenos, which I've got a pile of chilies over there on my counter. I cannot wait to make that tomorrow. So if you would like to participate in Meatless Mondays, whether it be through recipes that you have of your own, you may send those into the office at unityofjoplin.org. Or if you're just looking for some ideas, you may go on and find some delicious recipes. In fact, I think I've got like the next 3 or 4 weeks even planned out. And it's so helpful to have them all in one place right there. So please.
You'd be doing me an awesome favor if you can make the subject line meatless, so that I can have them all categorized, and makes it easier for me to put them on the website.
Thank you. All right. Hopefully everyone heard that. When you send in your recipes, if you would just make the subject line meatless, that will help facilitate Michael's putting them on our website and getting them ready for everybody. So thank you for that, Michael. If you would like to have a little virtual fellowship, you may, oh my goodness, it does make a big difference, my ring light, because I'm looking at me up here and I'm looking at me over there, and it makes a big difference. You may stay on Zoom after the service for a little virtual fellowship. So people will be on to just share your coffee, share your thoughts, share your time. So don't hurry off if it moves you. And now our own Kim is going to do a reading for us for the Lenten season. So Kim, take it away.
Imagination. About noon the next day, as they were on their journey and approaching the city, Peter went up on the roof to pray. He became hungry and wanted something to eat, and while it was being prepared, he fell into a trance. He saw the heaven opened and something like a large sheet coming down, being lowered to the ground by its 4 corners. In it were all kinds of 4-footed creatures and reptiles and birds of the air. Then he heard a voice saying, "Get up, Peter, kill and eat." But Peter said, "By no means, Lord, for I have never eaten anything that is profane or unclean." The voice said to him again a second time, "What God has made clean, you must not call profane." This happened 3 times, and the thing was suddenly taken up to heaven. Now, while Peter was greatly puzzled about what to make of the vision that he had seen, suddenly the men sent by Cornelius appeared. They were asking for Simon's house and were standing by the gate. They called out to ask whether Simon, who was called Peter, was staying there. While Peter was still thinking about the vision, the Spirit said to him, "Look, 3 men are searching for you. Now get up, go down, and go with them without hesitation, for I have sent them." So Peter went down to the men and said, "I am the one you are looking for. What is the reason for your coming?" They answered, "Cornelius, a centurion, an upright and God-fearing man, who was well spoken of by the whole Jewish nation, was directed by a holy angel to send for you to come to his house and to hear what you have to say." So Peter invited them in and gave them lodging. On the next day he got up and went with them, and some of the believers from Joppa accompanied him. The following day they came to Caesarea. Cornelius was expecting them and had called together his relatives and close friends. On Peter's arrival, Cornelius met him and, falling at his feet, worshiped him. But Peter made him get up, saying, "Stand up, I am only a mortal." And as he talked with him, he went in and found that many had assembled. And he said to them, "You yourselves know that it is unlawful for a Jew to associate with or to visit a Gentile. But God has shown me that I should not call anyone profane or unclean. So when I was sent for, I came without objection. Now, may I ask why you sent for me?" Cornelius replied, 4 days ago at this very hour, at 3 o'clock, I was praying in my house, when suddenly a man in dazzling clothes stood before me. He said, "Cornelius, your prayer has been heard, and your alms have been remembered before God. Send therefore to Joppa and ask for Simon, who is called Peter. He is staying in the home of Simon, a tanner by the sea. Therefore I sent for you immediately, and you have been kind enough to come. So now all of us are here in the presence of God to listen to all that the Lord has commanded you to say." Then Peter began to speak to them. "I truly understand that God shows no partiality, but in every nation, anyone who fears him and does what is right is acceptable to him. The imagination is that faculty of mind which images and forms. Everything that is manifest was first a mental picture and was brought into expression by this forming power. Man accumulates a mass of ideas about substance and life, and with his imagination, he molds them into shape. Those who look to the Holy Spirit for guidance find that its instruction is given to all who believe in Christ, and the command is to make all things after the pattern shown Moses on the mount as found in Exodus 25:40. And see that you make them according to the pattern for them which is being shown you on the mountain. The Spirit of truth projects into the chamber of imagery pictures that, rightly understood, will be a sure guide for all people who believe in the omnipresence of mind. The imagination will carry out any idea or set of ideas that the I am reflects into it. Hence, theories are not to be trusted. There must be evidence and works. This is accomplished by the working power of the word. With my imagination, I lay hold of perfect ideas and clothe them with substance. My body is the product of my mind. In my communication with God, the imagining power of my mind is playing an important part. It receives divine ideas, and in dreams and visions reflects their character in the consciousness. According to the scriptures, this is the opening of the heavens and the seeing the angels of God ascending and descending upon the Son of Man. With my imagination fixed on spirit, I affirm, in the quietness and confidence of spirit, I see myself as God sees me, his perfect image and likeness.
Thank you, Kim. That was beautiful. I let my phone go to sleep. Okay, here, I'm waking it back up again. So it is time for, let's see, that was from Keep a True Lent by Charles Fillmore, and from Imagination, read by Kim Barron. So thank you so much. That was beautiful. And it looks like now we are ready for a song, Make Me a Channel of Your Peace. So if you would join us for a congregational song.
Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. make me a channel of your peace. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned, in giving of ourselves that we receive, and in dying that we're born to eternal life. Make me a channel of your peace.
And as we allow that music to move us into our heart center, we concentrate on our power of imagination. As I open my mind's eye, I behold all possibilities. Through the power of my imagination, I create an image of what I would be. Breathing into this moment, I know that I have been a co-traveler with our entire species on a journey of evolution. I imagine those who fought for equal rights, who strove and overcame. Those who worked to eradicate illness and disease. Those who strive for social justice and peace. And the teachers who have moved us forward on this spiritual journey. In my imagination, I see each and every one of them. And I know that I too have a part to play. My part begins as I create a new image of what will be. What do I see for myself? I behold health and vitality, abundance in all forms, deeper, even more loving relationships. Centeredness. The ability to stay centered on my spiritual truth in the midst of whatever may be going on around me. My faith is strong. And I understand what faith truly is. Or as Reverend Ruth Mosley said, faith is not believing in something. Faith is my belief in action. I believe. I believe I have the image of a perfect life, of a peaceful life, of a centered life. I hold that image for myself and for all my brothers and sisters. I image a vision of all humans standing together as one. One people. Many colors, many paths. But one body, one spirit. One spirit walking together, supporting and uplifting one another. As we move through this evolutionary spiral, as we write a new meme. Through my power of imagination, I rest now in silent wonder as I sit and watch this beautiful image that I have created. And as I behold this image, this wondrous image, I know that thoughts held in mind must produce after their kind. But there has to be work. I have my part to play. And so I take my belief in what can be, and I look for ways to take action. For this is faith, the movement of belief. With open mind, ready and receptive to receive the guidance to do what is mine to do to make this a reality, I say thank you. Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you, Divine Spirit of Love. And under the authority of my indwelling Christ, I declare that this is my truth. I am strong in my faith. I am active in my faith. And it is so. Amen.
Okay, bear with me just a moment. I am having some difficulties, but I'll figure it out real quick. All right. Back to share.
Climb
Thank you, guys. Wow. And you know, I was thinking as we had that little glitch in that song, oftentimes when we are following our dreams, when we're climbing those mountains, when we're making that journey, we have those glitches. They show up. That is part of life. And the beauty of it is we can find the way to keep going. That song has always been one of my favorites, being a person who has spent many times in my life climbing mountains and fording streams and trying to hit the end of the rainbow. It just always touches my heart. So again, thanks, guys. And it's the perfect song for our conclusion of Black History Month. Today, we're going to honor the life and the work of Reverend Ruth Mosley. And she was one who followed her dream, even when she didn't always know what it was, and who definitely climbed some mountains. Reverend Ruth Mosley was born in March of 1930 in a little town called Olive Branch, Mississippi. That's a beautiful name for a town, Olive Branch. It was named for the olive branch that was brought to Noah when the ark landed on Mount Ararat. But the town itself in 1930 was anything but peaceful, especially if you were Black. It was a small town, about 500 people. There was incredible poverty, injustice, and Olive Branch in those days had the reputation of having more lynchings than any other town in the United States. The city, of course, like so many cities in the South, was segregated at that time. But things change. And today, Olive Branch is a town of 30,000 people and has been voted as one of the most livable cities in the United States for all people of all races. So it is amazing what can be done with a dream. However, prior to the Civil Rights era, when Ruth Mosley was a child, there were only two churches. There was the Black church and the white church. And Reverend Ruth related how, when growing up, the white church had a big sign at the end of its walkway that said, "This is the white church." In other words, if you're not white, you are not welcome. And that was the same with many of the businesses in the town. In fact, there was only one store that Blacks could shop in. It also served as the, and I quote, the Black post office. And one of Ruth's chores as a child was to walk over a mile to the post office to get the mail. And she recounted how one day when she was about 8 or 9 years old, she got the mail and there was a pamphlet in there, a little booklet. And the title on the booklet said National Sunday Lesson. And being curious, she opened up. And on the first page was one word that would change her life. And that word was unity. The National Sunday Lesson was a publication of Charles and Myrtle Fillmore back in the 1930s. It went out every week, and it was essentially a paper Sunday lesson. Ruth read it, and she pondered it because it was very different from what she had been told and what she had learned in her church. It spoke of God as love. And being young, she decided there must be two gods then. There must be one God that is discriminatory, jealous, judging, vengeful. But then there was another God, a God that was pure love, a God that she read about in this publication and in subsequent publications, one that gave no consideration to one's skin color or economic status. And she decided she liked the second God a whole lot better. Well, life went on. She continued to grow up. She hit her teens, and she got pregnant and had to drop out of school. After giving birth to her son, she decided that she would look for a better life, and she moved to Memphis, where she got a job as a live-in cook for a wealthy family. And there she began to attend another church whose teachings were very much in line with what she had read in that pamphlet. Now, it was not a Unity church. I don't know what kind of church it was really, but it must have been a New Thought church. because after she'd been there for a while, the bishops convinced her that she would have more opportunity for growth if she moved to Detroit. So she moved to Detroit, and there she found the Detroit Unity Temple. And because all things do work together for good, in that temple, she met a man named William Mosley. And they dated and got married. By this time, she had 2 children that she had left with her parents, and William Mosley adopted her sons. They had another baby girl, and they raised their family at Unity in Detroit. After 20 years, they drifted apart, and the marriage ended. But that was the beginning of Ruth's next steps, the next level of her journey, the next mountain she would climb. She was dealing with divorce, being a single Black woman with 2 children, and 3 children. 2 of them were adults by that time. And she took heart in a passage from Romans 8:28. We know that all things work together for good for those that love God, who are called according to his purpose. And she pondered that. And she had been in Unity long enough to know that, yes, all things do work together for good for those who love God. In that letter to Romans, Paul was quoting Jesus, who said, all things work together for good if you believe what I say. But it was the second part of that passage that really got her attention. The second part is, for those who are called according to his purpose. And Ruth began to wonder, what is my purpose? What really is my purpose? Is my purpose to be a mother? Is my purpose to be a teacher? Is my purpose to be a laborer? What is my purpose? And things were not easy. She had challenges. And through those challenges, she met another person, another man who she said was the love of her life, named Clarence Hall. And they got married. And less than a year after their wedding, he died of cancer. Then she met and married an ordained Unity minister named Marcus Burden, who was a minister of a Unity church in Ohio. She said of that marriage, it was a marriage made in heaven. But it did not last long either, for that husband died 3 days short of their first anniversary. Things were not easy for Ruth. But it was these events, she said, that gave her the faith, the strength to do what her purpose was. She decided that she should go back to school, not having ever completed high school. She decided she would finish. She went back and got her GED. And then she went on and earned a bachelor's degree in sociology and English through Mercy College. And in 1964, she applied to Unity School. Now, 1964, things were different in Unity. We weren't totally awake yet as regards to race. There was only a handful of people of color who had graduated from Unity School. Johnny Coleman, we've talked about her. And of course, by this time, she was allowed to live on campus. But she quickly realized something. As she studied, she realized that the curriculum of Unity was not geared for people who had been marginalized, people who had grown up in poverty, people who didn't have the advantages of the white middle class, which was the predominant student body of Unity. And she decided she was going to make some changes. So she went on, became a licensed Unity teacher, and then began studying to be a Unity minister. She founded another church, a Unity church, in West Detroit. And then she had an idea. She had an inspiration. Spirit told her that she needed to start a Unity school for her people. She went to what was then the Association of Unity Churches with a proposal. And I wish I could say that they wholeheartedly supported her. They did not. They did not. One person on the board, though, did. And he came to her afterwards, after she had given her presentation and they had turned her down. And he said to her, Ruth, I believe in you. I believe in your dream. I believe in what is possible. This was a white man. And he said, but you need to write your proposal in language that they will understand. And so he helped her rewrite the proposal. And she presented it again. And this time the Association of Unity Churches Board of Directors said, okay, we'll extend you an olive branch. We will grant you permission to start a Unity school in Detroit. But they didn't give her any funding. She had to do it all on her own. It was about that time, in February of 1978, that Reverend Johnny Coleman was interviewed by Ebony Magazine. And Johnny Coleman related her experiences in Unity. And what she did is she put Unity's prejudice at the time right out in the open for everybody to see. It was a wake-up call. It was a tidal wave of energy that was released into the Unity movement. And this time people heard. This time people stood up and they said, this is not who we are. This is not walking our talk. We are going to evolve. You know, I like to say that that is one of the things that makes Unity great. Yes, we have not always been perfect. We have not always been spiritually awake. But we are a movement that is willing to change and evolve. And sometimes there's resistance, but we do evolve. And Unity did evolve. And because of the efforts of Ruth Mosley and Johnny Coleman and Gavin McDowell and Della Reese-Lett and others like them, Unity did evolve. So much so that today, doesn't matter what color you are, doesn't matter what your gender identity or sexual orientation is, doesn't matter what your nationality or economic status is. Everyone is equal in Unity. Everyone can become a Unity minister. Everyone can become president of the boards. In fact, it was in 1980 that that Reverend Ruth Mosley was elected as president of Association of Unity Churches. It is amazing what can happen when we are willing to climb those mountains, when we are willing to pursue our dreams. Well, Reverend Mosley went on and continued to build what is now called the Unity Urban School. It's kind of also lovingly called the house that Ruth built. It was the beginning of a work that would evolve into one of the great Unity schools around the world today. She explained that the reason she started the school was because of the disparity in the backgrounds and the cultures that different people come from. I know up until very recently, you could not enter into Unity School without a college degree. And Ruth Mosley once said that, well, Jesus didn't have a college degree. I don't think the Buddha had a college degree. And certainly, in her day, and even today, the number of people of color who have college degrees are nowhere near what they are of white people. But there are many, many brilliant people of color whose voices we need to hear. Interestingly enough, in 2018, Unity School closed. And just 9 months later, a new school opened, Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute, of which I am proud to say I am one of the graduates. And that school followed the ideas of Reverend Ruth Mosley in that you can enter ministerial school without a college degree. You don't have to meet any of the criteria that is not available to everybody. And more importantly, Unity Urban School and Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute have joined together. And yes, they have two separate schools and two separate campuses, but they are combining curriculums. And you can take classes from either or both. And we walk hand in hand. My graduating class was the first class that graduated together in person with the graduates of Unity Urban School. It was powerful. It was a day that was long overdue. And it was thanks to Reverend Ruth Mosley. How did she do this? How did she accomplish all of this? Well, one of the things that she shared was a passage that became her guiding principle through her journey. And the passage was from Emily Cady's book, Lessons in Truth. And it went like this: before ever you are conscious of any lack, of any desire for happiness, for fullness of joy, the great Father, Mother heart has desired it for you already. It is God in you desiring these things that you feel. And she realized that if God in her was desiring these things, then there was a way for it to be made manifest. That it was time to take her belief in these things and take action on it. To have the faith. That is what faith is, she said. It is your belief in action. Belief by itself, oh, it's warm, it's fuzzy. But what does it really do? It is when you move it, when you use it, when you build with it, that it becomes faith. She coupled that path with her own experiences, her own overcomings, that confidence she had gained through everything she had been through, and created the house that Ruth built. She created a whole curriculum, a curriculum that had a slightly different focus from Unity School, a curriculum that was more closely centered with outreach and service. And she took for the mission statement of the Unity Urban School the passage found in Isaiah 61. The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord has anointed me. He has sent me to bring good news to the oppressed, to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and release to the prisoners. That was the founding mission statement of Unity Urban School. It is still the mission statement of Unity Urban School. She put everything she had into serving others. All others. Unity Urban School has a beautiful campus in Detroit, Michigan, where it accepts students of all colors, of all nationalities, of all sexual identities, of all paths. The first graduating class of Unity Urban School had 8 people in it. They're called lovingly the Detroit 8. And today, they have graduated over 200. Interestingly enough, Unity Urban School began offering courses online 10 years before any other Unity school did. 2008. It was as if they knew what was coming. Ruth herself went on to earn a master's in divinity from All Faith Seminary, a doctor of divinity from Commonwealth Open University, and she wrote 4 books. Her books are entitled Lord, Is It I? Powerful, powerful book. I highly recommend it. Another one, Strategies for Urban Ministry. And let me explain to you what urban ministry is. Urban ministry is not necessarily in a city. Urban ministry is ministry that serves the marginalized, the forgotten, those who are suffering injustice and prejudice. It can be out in the country. It can be anywhere. She also wrote, lost the list. There it is. She also wrote one of my favorite books because of the title and because it was one she had a lot of experience in. I haven't read it, but I just love the title, How to Attract a Guy. She once said, I know how to attract a guy. I'm not so good at keeping him alive very long. She had a sense of humor. She truly did. She made her transition on November 8th of 2020, just a couple months ago. And she lived a rich and full life. She never slowed down, even after she was in the nursing home. I've heard stories that when they went to do a documentary on her and film it in the nursery home, I'm gonna show you a clip of it in a minute. But when they went to film it, they had to kind of fight their way through the crowds of people that she was teaching. She never stopped. 90 some odd years old. She never stopped. She practiced the truth she knew, relating back to the Unity pamphlet where she first learned that God is love. And so now I'd like to share with you a clip, and I will just tell you, because of the way they had to do the clip, it's not the best. And she didn't have very many videos. There's almost no videos that I could find of her. But this one speaks to me. It's part of a 70-minute interview, and you can find this entire interview if you want to watch it yourself on a website called truthunity.net. I urge you to check that website out. It is the archives of Unity writings and videos. It has almost every book ever written by Charles or Myrtle Fillmore, Cora Fillmore, any of the prime Unity authors are now available online. It's all free. You can just click on it and download it and read it. It has videos of different leaders and inspirational people from around the world. It has, of course, this 70-minute interview with Reverend Mosley and so many other resources. And they're all free. Check it out. But now I'd like to play this for you. And just give me a minute to share my screen here.
Me, a blessing means something good. Blessing your life. It's unfolding in your life. It's good. Because if it wasn't a blessing, it would be what we call it, something evil. It's fine. But that would be a blessing.
All right. So I don't know. I know that was kind of hard to hear, but she said something very important there. She said, a blessing is something that is unfolding in your life. A blessing isn't something that is instant, that happens and then it's gone. It's something that is unfolding in your life. For Ruth Mosley, it was the Unity Urban School that was unfolding in her life. It was all of the probably thousands of people that she touched and inspired. What is it for us? What is it for you? What is it for me? What are the blessings that are unfolding in our lives? Sometimes we don't recognize them because they are, in fact, unfolding. They're not just a miracle that pops up in front of us and then is done. It's a journey. It's the climbing every mountain. It's the fording every stream. It's dealing with the ice-cold mountain water as you ford that stream. It's dealing with the hail and the snow on top of the mountain. It's looking for the rainbow. It's unfolding. It's evolutionary. And you know what happens as we have those blessings, as we have those unfoldings in our own lives, and we use our belief to be faith, to be belief in action. We find that that blessing that is unfolding in our own lives is also serving as a blessing to others. Ruth Mosley had this blessing that was unfolding in her life, the blessing of strength, of wisdom, of faith, of everything she needed to build Unity Urban School. But that blessing rippled outwards to the Association of Unity Churches. It opened their hearts and opened their eyes and allowed Unity to become the inclusive movement that it is today. It inspired us with her teachings and her books and her spirit. The house that Ruth built was more than just a place in Detroit. It was an energy that flows through the Unity movement. I've been blessed to have met Ruth once many years ago, briefly, but I did meet her. I did feel her energy. And I've gotten to know many of the ministers that the Unity Urban School has trained. Reverend Sandra Campbell, Reverend Jimmy Lee, so many others. And together, the Unity schools, built by different people in different places from different backgrounds, have created a movement that changes the world. But it's the people that did the work. Reverend Mosley and our Black ministers have blessed us with their courage, their dreams, and their strengths. And surely the highest honor we can pay them is to continue the work of co-creating a world that really does work for all. Namaste.
Namaste, and thank you, Gordon. Have I unmuted myself? Let me make sure. I've got a dog in my way. There we are. Okay. We alluded earlier to our sacred exchange, but now it is time for the official blessing. I would like to remind you that you may text give to the number on your screen. You may hit donate on unityofjoplin.org. You may also send us stars if you are familiar with that technology, or you may send a good old-fashioned check if that is still your way, to the P.O. box on the screen. And if you would help me bless with our prosperity blessing in a universe overflowing with the allness of God, all of the needs of Unity of Joplin and those we serve are bountifully met. From every direction, known and unknown, expected and unexpected, our abundant good is here now. Thank you, God. And now let's dedicate those offerings together. These tithes and offerings are dedicated to the will and work of Spirit through Unity of Joplin for the highest good of all. This is one of my, oh wait, we're welcoming first. I started to do the kids part. Welcome again, those of you who are seasoned Unity of Joplin goers, seasoned Unity of wherever you're from goers, and also welcome if you are new. We are thrilled that you found us, however that happened. As previously mentioned, if you'd like to stick around after, there will be some fellowship via Zoom here in this room. And now, one of my favorite bits of the whole day is blessing our children. For those of you that know me, you know that I am the mom of a very fantastic 9-year-old who is currently upstairs talking to his friends online because time just goes by too quickly, and that's happening now. But there are also children in each and every one of us, and hopefully with the recent snow, you got a chance to play and remind yourself of that child inside who used to love the snow angels. I loved the snow angel less this time than I did 40 years ago, but I still did it and enjoyed it. So help me bless the children without and the children within. Children, you are a perfect child of God, and God and I love you just the way you are. And now it's time for our peace song. I'm so excited. I'm going to mute myself so you don't have to hear me.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let harmony. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternal.